Hey y'all, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. I'm excited to go over the books that I want to read in March. I don't really make a lot of TBRs, so in the past I've never really done that. I never stick to it. I just end up being kind of a mood reader. So I'm hoping that this month, I really want to try to read with some books on my shelf. So I'm hoping that this month I will stick to that, use this video as kind of a motivator to get that done. I do have a kind of busy schedule with like work and my toddler and just so much going on in life. So, you know, if I don't finish all of these books, that's fine. But I'd like to at least get a handful of them read this month. So this is just kind of like my stack that I want to pick from this month. So let's go ahead and get into it. Peanut. Go on. Get down. This is why I gotta do it. He is being a bad cat today. So these aren't really in any order, but the first book I'll talk about is The Librarian of Boone's Hollow by Kim Vogel Sawyer. So this seems interesting. It's set in the Great Depression about a girl named Addie who's a city girl. She dreams of becoming a novelist, and her dad loses his job, and she can only find one job, which is delivering books by horseback to coal mining families in Kentucky. So I'm really excited about this. I bought this last year. I heard Lindsay from the blog Books for Christian Girls, I think I said that right. So I heard her talk about this being a 5-star read, and I just immediately bought it. So I'll link her channel below, but yeah, the cover is just really pretty too. I just love this cover. So I'm excited about this premise. I'm really interested in some historical settings right now. Hopefully I can get to this in March. I really want to read it. It doesn't seem like it's that long. 350 pages almost. So I just need to really try to focus on reading physical books right now. So this is one that I really want to pick up. So I know a lot of people are reading middle grade books in March for middle grade March. And so I've not read a lot of middle grade over the years. The last books that I read that would be considered middle grade was Seraphina and the Black Cloak series by Robert Beatty. I think I'm saying that right. And so I really enjoyed that. That was so much fun, and it was a good mystery just to figure out what was going on. I listened to all of those on audiobook. So when he had this book come out, I immediately pre-ordered it because it's set in the Great Smoky Mountains, and I live in Tennessee. So I had to have this. And I've not read it yet. It's been so many years ago. So I think this was written in 2018, and it's just beautiful. Look at the cover. It's just so pretty. So I have to read this since everyone's reading these middle grade books in March, and I don't really have any, so I only have this one. So I want to read this in March. I think it's pretty. I think I'm going to like it. It's set in the Great Smoky Mountains. That's all I really know. I don't even know what the premise is. And it's about this girl that must be a woodsy girl named Willa. I don't really know. It seems like there's some mystery there of like, what's she doing? It says move without a sound, steal without a trace. She's like a night spirit thief. So that seems interesting, kind of like mysterious. That's all I need to know. I'm going to read it. So the next book is Dust by Kara Swanson. I'm really excited about this. This is a Peter Pan retelling, and that's really all I know. I've seen a lot of people talk about this. The cover's beautiful. So yeah, I'm going to read this one as well. I also have some nonfiction reads that I want to read this month. The first being Charles Stanley, Courageous Faith, My Story from a Life of Obedience. I really love Charles Stanley. I don't know if y'all are familiar with him, but he just has such a way of, when he preaches, it just touches your heart, your soul. His voice is very soothing for me. I've learned so much from him in my faith journey when I first started going to church again and getting back into my faith. And so I don't think he's the primary preacher where he's at. He's part of that In Touch Ministries out of Atlanta. But his sermons and podcasts and devotionals have helped me out tremendously. And so I'm really excited to read his book. I also want to try to read, I've picked this up several times and I end up putting it down, but I really want to try to read Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. Everyone talks about these books, and I've never read a C.S. Lewis book. I know. I've never read Chronicles of Narnia. I've never read any of his nonfiction books. I've never read anything by C.S. Lewis. So I want to try to read this. At some point, I do want to actually read the Chronicles of Narnia. I think that'd be really cool. Everyone's talked about that. I want to read that. But for now, I really want to read the Mere Christianity book. A lot of people read that recently, so this is definitely on my list for March that I want to get to. I also got this bookmark in here. Didn't know it was in here, but it's cute. I did film a bookmark collection and book sleeve collection video that'll come out early March, but I didn't know this was in there, so this is not in there, but I think that's cute. So bibliophile. So I love bookmarks, but I think y'all will like that video. Really trying to do different things in videos, and I know I'm kind of coming out with a lot at the same time, but excited to kind of just make content and share with you all. So the next book that I want to read is one I just picked up this month, and that's Terry Blackstock's If I Run. Seems like a great mystery. There's a lot going on about a crime scene, what's happened. She knows the truth doesn't matter, what is the truth. A lot of stuff happening in this. I want to read it, so I'm going to try to get to this in March. Next book I would love to read, I'm kind of on this historical side that after reading Outlander, I'm just kind of like wanting to read historical stuff, I guess. But Codename Verity, I've had this for so long, probably 4 or 5 years, and I've never read it. So this is set in 1943. A British spy plane crashes in Nazi-occupied France. Its pilot and passengers are best friends, but just one of the girls has a chance at survival. Arrested by the Gestapo, Verity is given a choice: reveal her mission or face an execution. They'll get the truth out of her, only it won't be what they expect. So this, I don't know if it's going to make me cry, I don't know, but I want to read it. So I have the second book too, so that's kind of making me want to read it more, but it's not very long, maybe 200 and so, 250 or something like that. So yeah, I think I like this. Another bookmark, the original read receipt, book of the month. Book of the month has got some funny bookmarks. But I had set a goal that I want to try to read my book of the month books before I buy any more. This month, I decided I want to try to pick up Sister in Arms by Kaya Alderson. This book, the cover's real pretty as well. I love that. But this book is about, it's a novel of the daring Black women who served during World War II. So I'm really excited to pick this up. The first little blurb here says, as the first and only all-Black battalion of the Women's Army Corps, the legendary 6888, these brave women risk their lives to serve with honor against incredible odds. So I think this will be great. And I'm really into historical stuff, like I said, right now, so I'll be happy to pick this one up as well. And maybe I can kind of get through some of my book of the month books, not pick up any more. We'll see. March don't need to have anything I want. Yeah, those are the physical books I want to read this month. I do have a couple on Kindle that I want to read, and I always try to pick out an audiobook. And I've been going through my Audible library just to kind of give you an idea. My audiobook library, I have 157 audiobooks on Audible, and I have finished 60. So that's not too bad, but definitely not where I'd like to be. I really don't know what audiobooks I want to read this month. I have the Orphan Song. I also have Songkeeper. So I did buy those with some credits I had that I was trying to spend. But I've also got the novellas for the Skyward series that I kind of wanted to go back and listen to while it was still on my mind from a couple months ago. And I've also got some nonfiction I may pick up. Like I said, the audiobooks is just kind of something that's just such a mood read for me. I really think I'll try to listen to Orphan Song this month. I know several people that have read that and really enjoyed it. So I do have 2 Kindle books that I want to get to this month. Meet Me in the Margins by Melissa Ferguson. Seems like such a cute little romance. I really want to read this. It's a Christian fiction, so I want to read that. So the other Kindle book that I wanted to get to is one that I actually wanted to read in February that I didn't even get to start. I didn't really get much reading done this week at all. It's the last week of February. It was such a crazy week for me. The Lady of Galway Manor by Jennifer Dibble. I wanted to read this in February, like I said, but probably not going to get to it. So this is something in March I want to pick up. I did get this. This came out in February, I believe. So she writes really well. A Dancing Donegal was one of my favorite books of last year, so I have no doubt this will be a favorite as well. Hopefully I can use this as like motivation to try to read at least some of these. If I don't get to all of them, that's okay. I have a pretty busy schedule, but those are just like the general books that are kind of on my list that I want to try to pick from, depending on my mood. So what are you reading this month? I'd love to know in the comments below. I hope you all have a really good reading month. I hope everyone's doing really well. And so thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all real soon. Bye.